Quality control starts with the basic components and making sure that fit, finish, measurements all match our specification sheets. We've assembled a rock star group of specialists, starting from ex-F1 engineers to computer specialists to manufacturing specialists and professional race car drivers.
My name is Michael Lewis and I'm a professional race car driver with Effort Racing in a Porsche GT3R. Comparing the real world of driving a race car to the simulation world and the Motion Pro 2 simulator, it's actually quite comparable. The simulator, it's providing really direct feedback from the steering wheel to the motion system and the pedal box area to really make it seem like you're in the race car.
One of the major distinguishing features of our simulator is that we make almost everything in-house. We design it ourselves, we build it ourselves, and the reason for that is because we know how all of these things should feel, act, and look like in the real car, so we insist that they are that in the simulator. Instead of reaching for an off-the-shelf steering wheel, off-the-shelf pedals, off-the-shelf motion system, we know that we can do better, so we do. An example of the level of detail that we go into with our quality control would be the shift paddles on our steering wheels. We measure the distance, the pressure, we even measure it with calipers, measuring down to hundredths of an inch to make sure that they deflect at exactly the right pressure and distance, all the way to our sound systems. No one sound system is exactly the same. It could have the same model number and come from the same manufacturer, but they are slightly different and they all need to be calibrated to our specs. Physical feedback, or what we call haptic feedback, is the most important part of the simulator for us. It is the part that lets you feel connected to the race car. For that part, we have to quality control check with professionals. It's more subjective. It's one of those things that actual race car drivers have to tell you it feels right or it doesn't feel right.
We at CXC Simulations have a checklist we go through before the simulator goes out the door. My role within the shop floors is to assess the whole sim. I go through my little checklist and make notes on if the steering wheel is providing adequate feedback, if the pedals are working properly. And once there's an overall systems check, I get into the simulator and often drive for 4 to 5 hours to really ensure that everything can handle the long hours of driving and all the stress that that provides. As a race car driver, we tend to take our real cars to the limit by pressing the brake pedal very hard, smashing the throttle pedal, because what we're trying to do is go as fast as we can. And that demands a lot of stress, on the car. So we're moving the car, we're moving the pedals a lot, with a lot of force. I put that same mentality into the simulator, and when I brake very hard, there's a certain feeling that I have. In fact, we're wearing seatbelts in the simulator, which kind of gives you a notion that if you didn't have those seatbelts on, you might fall out the simulator just like you would in the race car, because you're moving around so much, there's a lot of energy. And so really, I tend to put a lot of effort and physical exertion into the steering, into the pedal system to ensure that the product is safe to go out the door.